and I'm here to say I'm going viral this time. Tonight, this live stream is going to have 10,000 people in it in the chat. It's going to be my most successful live stream ever. As every one of the people who comes here is going to call their friends on the phone and say, "Hey, hurry up and join this live stream. It's amazing." Naturally. Hi, Rachel. I wasn't really planning it or anything. It was just kind of a sudden onset live stream syndrome. I have sudden onset live stream syndrome. Hi, G. How are you? So, anyway, hi, Ruben. I don't know if you guys heard, but this time I'm going viral. Hi, Ruben. I don't know if you guys... And what does that mean? Well, it means you can expect over 1,000, as many as 10,000 people concurrently here participating in the chat. May get a little crowded. May get a little bit crowded. Right, a couple things I want to do here. Maybe on a live stream. One is I was thinking about bagging some more weed. I've been putting away the dried weed. This is the table called the jarring table. And we're not actually jarring things, or here at the jarring table. I'm instead bagging things, as per me, with these quart-sized Ziploc bags. I got a whole bag full of bags here. That's pretty good. But I got the rest of that pile still to go. And one thing I've done, I'll remember you when I'm king of YouTube. I mean, I'm already the only YouTube channel on the internet, which is pretty impressive. As for putting things in jars, and it is, of course, distinct from the drying closet. That's the key thing to note here is that by transitioning from having a drying closet where I pull branches out of there and then put those branches in jars, now I can jar from this table and free up the drying closet for when I decide to harvest and manicure more. DEA raid? I don't think so. The DEA is going to bother with me. I'm just at the end of a very long process that actually involves a lot of time, attention, work, from seed to finish. It's it's great to have such a bumper crop, obviously, but it's also a lot of work harvesting. It's not unpleasant work. Putting these in jars, when I use my fingers to pull the buds off, especially, I get this finger hash, and you roll that off into a ball and smoke it. Hi, Marcus. My name's not Delilah, but that's fine. Did I say Bumbleot? I don't think I said Bumbleot. Bumbleclot? No, I didn't say Bumbleclot. I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal. I have the legal number of plants, and I'm just harvesting my homegrown, which has to last us for a year. I think this time it will last us for a year. We got a bumper crop. But that's farming for you. Some years things go beautifully, and other years you have more struggle. Yes, we are okay, Rachel. We are okay. We're better than okay. We're fantastic. In fact, tonight we're going viral. As many as 1 million people will be here at this live stream tonight. Could be less than that, but it could be more. That's one thing I have on my agenda of things. But first, let's put on a jacket because it's a little bit chilly outside. And then we're going to go outside. We're going to have a cigarette. I'm going to get a pack from the car. Now, there's Capillo. Capillo's right here. In case you were still wondering, Rachel. There she is. We are the okayest. That's a good title for a movie, huh? The okayest. We're the okayest people in all of history. Who do you think the famous couples in history are? There's not a whole lot of famous couples, huh? I think no two people immediately jump to mind as, oh, well, there's a famous couple. Alexander and Cleopatra, I guess. That comes to mind. Bonnie and Clyde, Adam and Eve. Bonnie and Clyde's a good one. The okayest, yeah, good name for a podcast. You never get around to listening to. Instead of talking about things that stand out as significant, important, or good, the okayest just talks about things that are just okay. Like that Superman movie. It was just okay. Which is not too bad for a superhero movie to attain okayness. In this day and age where the superhero genre seems to have lost all of its shine, or shenunu. Yeah, the new Superman movie, and it's made by the same guy who makes Peacemaker. His name is James Gunn, I think. I think it's James. His last name's Gunn, Gunn. Peacemaker is fantastic. If you haven't watched Peacemaker, boy, you're in luck. You're gonna get to binge 2 full seasons. I think it is. Maybe it's 3. I don't remember. But that would be a treat that you can enjoy. A real treat. Peacemaker starring John Cena. I know what you're thinking. John Cena? Isn't he a wrestler? What is he doing acting in a HBO series? Well, I don't know what he's doing acting in an HBO series except kicking ass and taking names. He does a fantastic job. And everybody does in the show. It's really well written. I mean, it's hilarious and exciting and just wonderful. I highly recommend it. It's my favorite show since like maybe Future Man. Future Man is another one that stands out like Peacemaker, where it's hilarious, fantastic, etc. Future Man has in it that guy who was in The Sixth Sense as a kid, except now he's grown up. Come on. If you want out, come on out. In or out, kitty. In or out. Doors are closing. Guess she wanted to stay inside after all. So, I've been looking into possible ways to make extractions that you can use in making edibles. And indeed, we are talking about something that's alcohol soluble. Um, you know, and they were talking about a couple different ways to do it. And then, yes, you can evaporate the alcohol, and then the remaining stuff will work as concentrate that you can then either eat or smoke. You're still supposed to decarbolize, what it was called, decarbolating. I don't know. You're supposed to decarb it first. That's not a chihuahua. You're right, Ruben. Did you think for a second it was a chihuahua? What kind of bug is that? I don't even know what kind of bug that is. It is quite loud, and it does go for quite a while. It's obviously not making that on one breath. If it were making that noise with its, its voice box in its mouth, breath, then it would have a really long breath that it was breathing out. Well, it does sound a lot like a chihuahua, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I think I would have noticed some chihuahuas around here. So one of the reasons why the bears come over here is I did not know this, but our neighbors have an apple tree right there. They gave us one of the apples. And I guess the bears come to get the apples. Here it comes again. Did you miss it? It's back. That sound equals DTF. What's DTF? Oh, I know what that is. You think that bug is trying to attract a mate. I see what you're saying. Saying, come over here. I'm ready for action. I'm all revved up and ready to go. Well, if the ladybug, you think that's a male bug? That's a male bug trying to attract a female bug? If so, do you think the female bugs prefer the loudest male? I'm making this beautifully consistent, sustained sound with my thighs. Oh my god, that makes me so wet. It's like, meow. Whatever that note is. With undertones of meow. Female listens for the pitch and sustain and how much she commits to it. Like if he's just kind of half-heartedly going chirp chirp chirp, she's like, if you're not that enthusiastic, then I'm not down. I want to see you put your heart and soul into this cricket song that you're making. Separate the milk toasts from the real dudes. Oh my god. I was watching this thing earlier. Rachel put it on, and I continued watching it. On that horrible Ashton Kutcher. What a horrible person he is. I wish someone would just go punch him in the face. I mean, I don't know, I'm not advocating it, obviously. I'm just saying, if it were to happen, even though I would agree that the person was guilty of assault, I would still feel like, boy, he really deserved it. I don't like him one bit. And that, like, horrible, whatever you call it, video that they made after their letter about Danny Masterson came out, it's like, his attitude in that is just unbelievable. He's clearly angry that the letter was released and indignant and a little outraged that he has to even make this thing. I mean, what a fucking douchebag. Of course, what do you expect when his best friends are Diddy and Danny Masterson? It's not like you should expect him to be a mild-mannered gentleman. And, you know, apparently back when he was acting, like, making Dude, Where's My Car or whatever, apparently he was incredibly difficult to deal with on set and stuff. That he was arrogant, you know, rude to people, etc. So, you know, boo on him. Well, here's an interesting question. Who do you think Tuts is? He's somebody from back in the day, obviously, to reference all that stuff that he referenced. But he must have gone by a different name. I hadn't really thought about that for, you know, like last night after I got off the stream, I thought about that for a while. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? That was before your time, huh? I guess I just sort of imagined you always having been around. Oh, there's old Ruben again. He's a real fixture. But yeah, the channel's gone through many different cycles, phases, whatever. Ashton and Mila Kunis do suck. And, but I don't know exactly what to say about Mila Kunis, except that she was party to that letter in support of Danny Masterson. She wrote one too, or whatever. And that she deserves to be condemned just on those grounds is fine. But I don't know what else. I don't really know anything else about her. I don't know what they are. I have no idea. But, you know, all these people interconnected with, like, Harvey Weinstein, and this other billionaire guy who's on the Epstein list. Bill Clinton, who's quite, quite the appetite for young women, apparently. I used to call Air Force One, when he was president, the Lolita Express, which is just incredibly appalling. But, you know, these fucking people, I don't know what to say besides these fucking people. What the hell is going on? It's just, obviously, they love, like, sensory stuff a lot. They're really into it. Ashton gave a bit of a weird vibe. Then he came out on Shark Tank talking about the company that he rescues trafficked children. Well, I mean, the whole thing about that company is after Demi Moore, after he divorced from Demi Moore, then that nonprofit started like investing in some of Kuchar's stuff, and the whole thing is really quite shady financially. At first, nobody earned a salary there, but now they're spending $5 million a year on salaries, and they're trying to pitch this proprietary software of theirs, which is designed to catch images, but it only can do it if it's a known image. And it's all super shady. It's all super shady. And like before Congress, Ashton Kutcher testified that he'd been on raids with the FBI and seen things nobody should have to see. Really? Like, why would the FBI invite Ashton Kutcher to go on a raid? Did they? If so, I think somebody in the FBI needs to be held to account for this. Like, the FBI's business is not something that you should be inviting celebrities along. Like, what the hell is that? I don't think Ashton Kutcher's ever been on any such raid. I think he was just blowing smoke out of his ass. Mostly what Thorne has done apparently is um, make public service announcements saying how their 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 tagline is "Real men don't buy girls." Okay, well, so are these are these public service announcements that are being funded by Thorne? How many potential traffickers do you think are dissuaded by these? You know? Oh, hey, Juan, you know what? Let's let these people go. Let's just let them go. I don't feel like a real man anymore. I mean, how weak is that, right? Like you have a non-profit charity that's got all these organizational costs and they're paying $5 million a year in salaries to people. It's investing in Ashton Kutcher's stuff to the tune of like $1 million. And what do they do to help children? They make those public service announcements, those kind of ads, and put it on TV. And of course, they have their friend come and be in it, some other celebrity who probably got paid to be in it. It's just kind of like a big scam, as far as I can tell. Just my opinion. I'm not making any formal accusations here. What horrible people. How did they get to be so horrible? And Thorne is trying to pitch its product like to Europe and stuff. And a lot of money lobbying in Europe. Their software, which is supposed to identify problem images, but only if it's a copy of an existing image that the authorities already know about. They're trying to pitch this software in Europe, but if it were to be implemented, it would have to have access to everyone, all the flows of everyone's data, and including on encrypted things like Signal or WeChat. it's it's insane, the overreach of this supposedly charity that helps children. It's crazy. I don't think they actually have rescued anybody. I think they've just made a couple of ads and made this proprietary software. Maybe they've done other things, but this lady had done a lot of research that I watched this video from. The show is called, the YouTube channel is called Coffee and Cults. I'm looking full of iron. Well, thanks. That's because I ate some iron earlier. I like to get just a cube of iron and just chew on it very slowly, breaking it down so I can eat it. When they say it's all about the kids, they're not kidding. Ronald Layton. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're referring to the Ashton Kutcher topic that I was just discussing, there's another thing about them. When they had kids, they said, we're never going to let the public see our kids. We're going to wait till they're old and they can make a choice as to how much public visibility they want to have. But then when they were embroiled in this controversy afterwards, in the aftermath of that, they showed up with their kids at like a Lakers game. And I guess I think of it as they were just using their kids as a shield to prevent people from yelling at them. I would have yelled at them. Kids are no kids. I would have said, Ashton Kutcher, why are your two best friends both serial rapists? Is that something you look for in a friend? What qualities do you look for in a friend? Hmm. Well, I'm afraid you're going to judge me if I tell you. No, you can tell me. What qualities do you look for in a friend? Well, I like them to do a lot of, nah, but no consent, you know. What? Yeah. So I'd like them to drug women and, you know, meow at them. Danny Masterson, what a strange kind of crime to drug somebody. Like, it's horrible. He had all kinds of weird cameras in his house that like filmed every space. I was thinking of the charities supposed to help. They're likely the traffickers. Oh, you're thinking the charities are the traffickers. Well, I have no reason to believe that particularly, except that, um, you know, Ashton Kutcher seems like a evil supervillain, so who knows? But I was thinking of more as like a money laundering thing, basically. A way to process certain amounts of money through the charity, avoiding taxes, etc. But could be used for a lot of different purposes, potentially. Regardless, it's definitely not a charity worth giving any money to. I think it's fair to say that. I'd like to think people aren't PDFs, but I don't know. Yeah, well, the thing is, I used to kind of like roll my eyes at slash poo poo the idea that these super rich and famous people engaged in these lives of secret societies and weird perverted parties and orgies and such. I used to say, like, look, these people are just regular people like you or me. I'm sure they, by and large, if you like were to check in on them at any given moment, they're living very boring lives, just like everybody else, just doing whatever. I no longer think that. There's been too much come out about too many different people engaged in too much crazy debauchery stuff that at best is unhinged debauchery, and at worst is exploiting vulnerable people left and right. You know. So I don't know what like. Well, you know, there's the old saying, "Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely." And wealth is a form of power, but I guess, but one of the things I wonder about is like, why do they all seem to like sex so much? Have you looked into the Isaac Cappy, Seth Green, Tom Hanks saga? No, I'm curious about it. Let me look at it a little bit. Well, they said that saying to me during my reign as emperor. Why do you like sex so much, Marcus Aurelius? Ruben wonders if PDF-free is some sort of blackmail in Hollywood and they get people in there so they can control you. Chaos and torture for profit and fun. Yikes. Well, I'm curious about this. Seth Green, Tom Hanks, and Isaac Cappy. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. How did he die? Huh. I've never heard that. Never heard of this before. Let's see. Huh. Well, 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 well. I had no idea. Seth Green, huh? LAPD goes after actor after the actor accuses big stars. Hmm. He also accused Stephen Colbert, Bill Clinton, Steven Spielberg. He's under investigation for allegedly choking Paris Jackson at a party. Huh. Stephen Colbert? That doesn't seem to, I don't know. I have trouble believing that one. Huh. I'm watching what he's saying about Seth Green. Huh. Hmm. Well, I don't know what to make of that.
I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also.
I don't know what to think about all that. Really, he consistently said, I'm not suicidal in the strings leading up to his death. Strings that have since been scrubbed from the internet. Wow, that's surprising. I'm starting to believe a book I read called Hollywood Babylon by Kenneth Anger, which basically tells the story of the creation of Hollywood. Oh, yeah. First, there was a guy who said, let's make a film. Well, it makes you wonder about the wisdom of that song, Hooray for Hollywood. Maybe it should instead be Boo for Hollywood. It seems like so many different people's names I've heard come up. Um, like that guy who hosted for, I don't know if he still does. I think it was Family Feud. What's that guy's name? Harvey, something Harvey. He was up there in the conversation. Tom Hanks seemed the most disturbed by Ricky Gervais's jokes at the Golden Globes at one time. What did those jokes? What were they about? Is the fact that Hollywood had this like secret underbelly of hidden abuse and exploitation. The term "I'm not suicidal" is used by anyone who makes some kind of claim that's conspiratorial or otherwise proven to be true, just in case the person who makes a wild claim ends up dead. Well, so Tom Hanks looked very much bothered by those jokes, huh? And has Ricky Gervais talked about it in other contexts? Like he said, to further explain what I'm talking about here regarding Hollywood, or was it just he just made those jokes? Because I'd be curious to say what I'm curious about is like, to what extent is there a portion of Hollywood that actually comprises normal people who aren't evil and so forth? Tom Hanks' tweet about the glove on the Isaac Cappy Bridge is so odd. What tweet did he? What tweet did he make? Sola Gratia. Hi, Sola Gratia. Well, we're discussing Hollywood celebrities and their tendency towards bad behavior, misdeeds, malfeasance, abuse, and exploitation. Uh, and I was just wondering, like, to what extent do you have some portion of Hollywood that is not involved with that and are just regular people? Obviously, not everybody can be part of this secret underbelly of horribleness. This is Jimmy J. Jacobs, by the way. Oh, you're Jimmy J. Jacobs? John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt? He created a picture of a glove on the same bridge. Cappy forced himself off, saying, "Hope it's not roadkill." His body was hit by a car to fall off the bridge. Wow. I mean, he could just be being a super dick about somebody who died because he hated the guy, and instead of mourning his death, he wanted to talk shit about it. So it's not proof of him being involved or anything, but I think that we ought to, by and large, when people say, "I'm not suicidal. If I die, it wasn't because I meowed myself," and then they purportedly meow themselves, we should look very strongly into that. Father, Father, lead me back to you. Your soothing presence is all I need. I am lost and cold within myself. Warm me with your embrace. Talking to me? Hi, Crystal Miller. Is that sufficient embrace for you? I mean, the smoking gun is a deleted scene in Toy Story 3. Really? What is in that scene? I'm the first I've ever heard of any of this stuff with Tom Hanks can be heard in the enhanced audio saying, "I did 9/11." Well, um, I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks is not responsible for 9/11, but thanks for typing me around January. You're welcome. You did 7/11? Cool. Um, so anyway, I do think that have got to be, I mean, I would still think should be a majority of celebrities are not like that, but maybe it does seem like the bigger a celebrity you are, the more likely it is that you're like that, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. But like it makes it hard for me to well, it's something that sometimes impacts my viewing experience. Like I don't want to watch any movies with Leonardo DiCaprio in them. I don't want to. I hate it when I see Kevin Hart on the TV or in commercials. He should be canceled. Yeah, it seems like they may possibly often be a trade-off to getting that much power. I think the biggest hitters get dirt on each other and operate in intelligence networks. The majority of people are not like that. If you find something positive, why can't you scrutinize over what's positive? We always have to scrutinize over what's good enough. Is it good enough? Well, in this instance, we're talking about Hollywood celebrities who are engaged in exploitation and abuse of people, and the extent to which they get away with it. Well, I think so. He was close confidant of Diddy, and there's video of him like basically explaining the rules of the of the I don't know if it was a freak op or not, but and on the mic explaining it to the crowd of people. Like he was definitely deeply immersed in Diddy Town. And I know that Diddy didn't get convicted of any of the things really that were significant that they charged him with, but they go all over the world and have access to powerful people. They're being used for intelligence. The government would be negligent if they didn't utilize the opportunity, to be honest. First rule of freak out. Yeah. I think midgets will take over Hollywood and show everyone the beauty and downsizing and minimalist behavior. They're called dwarfs. Midgets are for like aesthetics and stuff. Dwarfs is for people. It's like Oriental and Asian. Excuse me, they're called dinklages. Fair enough. He is the world's most famous little person actor. Apparently, he's quite full of himself. Because he's such a good actor. He is a good actor, but I don't know. If I got to be super famous and rich and powerful, I would demonstrate, look, everybody, this is how you be super rich and famous and powerful. And then I'd, just go about my normal business of not exploiting and abusing people. Just my point is, it's not asking a lot, right? It's not asking a lot for people, regardless of their situation, to just not exploit and abuse people. That seems like a reasonable request. I had an interesting conversation with a dude who defined subjectivity as being a statement with a free variable. Subjectivity isn't a form of statement. Just be a solid person as you should, like Adam Sandler. But yeah, apparently Adam Sandler is quite pleasant. Don't exploit and abuse, uplift and expedite to see what comes back at you. To you. Yeah. Personally, I can't, in my engagements with people, be perfect. And I don't expect celebrities to be perfect either. Sometimes you're in a bad mood and you're kind of short with somebody, or whatever. But it's what you say, Crystal Miller, is very worthwhile to do, to the extent that if you have that kind of fame, etc., then it's probably not being super self-important to think, well, maybe I can uplift people. You're not being accused of being a man again? I'm glad. Henry Rells says, yup. I would have bad moments with paparazzi, offers Rubinar. But we're kind of hamstrung by the way our society is structured. Gone are the good old days of posses following the sheriff. Yep, that's what they call it, Hollywood. Well, maybe someday I'll be king of Hollywood and I'll clean up all the horribleness. And to all of the people who are famous and stuff who are horrible people, I'll say, get out of here, you. I I did assume that they were just living. They were, bottom line, people are people. They're just people with a rare set of situations, a rare set of circumstances. They happen to be super famous or rich or whatever. Like I used to tell people about the president, say, you gotta remember, the president's just some guy. But the thing is, and that's still true to this day about famous people and the president and whatever, but they don't think so. They don't seem to think that that's true. Like, they think I'm not just some guy, I'm Mr. Super Important Pants. Yeah, Eric, a while back I was in an MMA chat. They thought I was a male posing as a female. How wrong they were. Well, they probably thought that because there's not a lot of women who like MMA. We thought these calling them out were wrong before. Well, I didn't know what to think about people. I didn't really necessarily hear those accusations. I know that Corey, one of the Coreys, I remember him making various accusations. I didn't know what to make of it. Um, but I heard from people around the stream years ago, they'd talk about it and say, "Oh, you don't know how it is in Hollywood. There's all this undercover evil going on." I was like, you're just imagining conspiracies or something. And why would they all act like that? But now I accept that, yeah, that's Hollywood. They do all act like that, I guess. Most of them, or a lot of them. I try to listen to people, and if people start calling them crazy or other ad hominem type of stuff, I get more interested. I don't think it's generally a problem of people falsely accusing others of things. Um, I just don't think it happens very often, especially if they're persistent in their accusations and trying to make a lot of noise about it, and people are all kind of trying to ignore them. Then those accusations seem to have a lot of credibility to me. But I mean, not to say that other kinds of accusations don't have credibility, but there's various factors that make it more or less credible. Mr. Bobby was right all along. Exactly, Henry. Exactly. Corey Haim's thing. I couldn't just dismiss. Let me put my glasses on. I couldn't just dismiss that I saw too much truth in his face while he was saying it. You know what I mean? You can't master that in an acting class. Hollywood used to make inside jokes about it all the time until it became wider public knowledge. Really? Like what kind? Like what's an example of how, like in a film or something they make a joke about it, or in what context and how could we access these inside jokes and make determination on them? It's like you've got this group of people who seem to think that they are aristocrats, which above the law and not subject to this to any rules of decency that normal people are subject to. Like the casting couch and creepy producers with young girls and stuff. Oh yeah, okay. He got banned a long time ago. He was right about Hollywood being full of predators. Yeah, Crystal, says Ruben R. Exactly. Or even Bob Lazar on Rogan for 3 hours in a row. I'm not saying he's completely honest, but a lot of his body language looks honest and congruent with the baseline. Tuts asks, what about Munchkin Land and the Wizard of Oz? I don't know the role of little people in this whole thing. Nickelodeon helped shape pop culture for decades, but the docuseries is exposing the toxic culture behind some of the iconic children's shows in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, I know that one of their creators, Nickelodeon's creators at least, was very much engaged inappropriately with the kids. I saw something on some video about that. Yeah, Dan somebody. Dan Snyder, was that his name? Do I not have my stickers? No, I do have them. They're in this box. The All That guy. It sucks because Amanda Bynes was such a sharp kid. Well, what happened to her? Is she still alive? Anyone watch F1? No. Starting to get back into it after a long hiatus. What's F1? Now she's all dealing with the trauma. Who knows? To have some sort of dark shit happen to her. As young viewers flocked to the channel for beloved programs, sexual abuse and harassment were rampant behind the scenes. Anna was discussed more with Quiet on Set, the dark side of kids' TV. She used to do this shit called Ask Ashley on All That. A lot of light in her eyes. Was the American Grand Prix yesterday? Oh, well, I don't care about car racing. Car racing is incredibly dull. Did my daughter watch iCarly? Yeah, I think she did. Yeah. You know, she watched Zach and Cody, Sweet Life with Zach and Cody on deck. She watched iCarly. She watched, but mostly she liked cartoons. She wasn't really into all of the live action stuff. I liked Keenan and Kel. Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. But a new docu-series. Oh, I read that already. Yeah. So, is it something about the acting profession? Actors that makes things like that? It's messed up because it's with underage kids. At least Tarantino did with adult actresses. I like that you read the comments, says Ruben. Well, thanks, Ruben. I'll keep doing so. Sorry, I was alluding to the actual documentary series. Check it out, guys. Quiet on set. Sounds depressing. I have to stay a certain distance away from the topic. Like, um, it's interesting to me as a phenomenon that's occurring linked to celebrity and particularly to acting, music, um, and but when I start to know a lot of details, then I get depressed about it. Did you read my second to last comment about iCarly? Did my daughter watch iCarly? Yes, I did read that. And on that show iCarly, there'd be a lot of feel material. Turns out the creator literally had feet material. Turns out the creator literally had a foot fetish. Huh. Well, I mean, including a lot of extra foot material in a show because you have a feet fetish seems to be like fairly harmless, I guess. If it's harmless enough to be on TV, but Crystal says, I never cried so much my entire life as when she watched that documentary, presumably. Was they, I don't know what that says. That's the only way kids shows could be toxic. Oh, you mean were they PDFs? Yeah, I think that's what that was going on. Another toxic thing could be a bullying culture on set, but yes, and that's the implication. PDF. And the nice black man, but he was into older legit ones. Oh, you're talking about Cosby? Yeah, he liked to drug women. What horrible people. It's like they've got all these advantages to enjoy in life, and instead of enjoying their advantages, they decide to exploit people and hurt people and abuse people. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I guess you got famous too young. And it spoiled you. The creator literally had Ariana Grande try and squeeze a potato and sprayed water on herself while lying on bed. She was a teenager though, so it's technically not PDF, but it's just exploitation. Well, what's wrong with squeezing a potato? I don't understand what's wrong with that. The worst part, Hollywood is wondering why they're losing their viewers to people like you and all the other stuff we watch nowadays. I mean, I think they understand that the media landscape has changed dramatically. There are still high budget, high production level stuff out there, but I spend a good amount of my watching time watching YouTube, and I spend much of the rest of it watching Crunchyroll. So, to be blunt, it's definitely sexual innuendo. She's trying to make juice come out of the potato. You're never going to be able to squeeze a potato until juice comes out of it. Potatoes are too hard to squeeze. That's a fool's errand. But I get what you're saying. Um, the creator was sexualizing the underage actor in a way that was unacceptable. I mean, not that there's an acceptable way to do that. I have almost a whole polyester. Is that what this is? I'm gonna go back inside right now anyway. I'll be able to see it more clearly. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I don't know if you guys heard from the title, but this time I'm going viral. So pretty soon, any minute now, I have almost a whole payloader bucket full of potatoes. I would give this a try just for you, Eric. I'll try to squeeze juice from a potato. Yeah, well, with your hands, I mean, good luck. There's no way. Potatoes are just too tough for your hand to squeeze juice out of it. I guess we gotta watch the cat eat. Eric, you can increase the scale of chat by holding control and pressing plus. Yeah, I should increase it on the computer. But then I end up decreasing the size of stuff again because stuff doesn't quite fit when you have it at a bigger size. Like, because it changes it for everything, not just for the chat. Okay, Crystal, that's fair enough. Fair enough. That goes in the trash. Kapir, you want to go outside? Or you just stand at the door to make me open it so you could look outside and then stand there and not go outside. There, trouble. Now, every food particle gets twice the nutrition because you're being watched by me and the internet. The entire internet is here to watch you eat. All 8 billion people are here. But you know, YouTube keeps cheating me in its numbers. But seriously, there's like at least 10,000 people here, but YouTube reports it as 6. How unfair is that? I mean, titles don't lie. And this title says I'm going viral this time. Are you done eating, Trouble? No? I thought that might be premature finished eating syndrome, where he gets up prematurely. It's not racist to say that town is full of white people, so it shouldn't be an issue to make an observation. Well, regardless, the reason one doesn't want to say that Hollywood is full of meh, whatever kind of meh, is because being a member of that group is not what's the problem or related to it in any way at all. So, like, Nazi Germany was full of white people. And look, they all became Nazis. So was England also full of white people, and they fought against the Nazis. So it doesn't, it's like, the problem is clearly the industry, acting or celebrity or something, and not anything else. And exactly how and why celebrity power wealth turns people evil would be interesting to know the answer to, but I don't know what the answer is. Tribal mentality. Well, I mean, if you're up to illegal, abusive shit, then you gotta have, you know, tight reins on the in group because regular people would be appalled at what you're doing. Okay, we're gonna make tortilla. We're gonna make tortilla with butter. Let's watch. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but it doesn't really matter because we always do any individual a disservice when we think we know about them because of some group label, rather than dealing with them as individuals first and foremost. It wouldn't do us any good to condemn a group like that, because all we're doing is, once again, being epistemically wrong and prioritizing the wrong thing. And it's like, well, let's say you were correct that there was some correlation between membership in a given group and some kind of a problem. Well, my point would be, now what would you like to do about that? What sort of rights violations are you advocating here for the members of the group in question? George Santos. I don't think anybody would believe George Santos is Jewish. Okay. Since when is Santos remotely a Jewish name? The old country. I hail from the old country. I speak Yiddish. I do vaudeville. You guys need to watch the South Park episode about this whole fruit chews in Hollywood thing. Have you guys seen it? You really should watch it. It's correct as always. Let's see here. I ripped her double after what she said to Karen. Who said what to Karen? And why? We're all scum, guys, according to them. According to whom? I'm not scum. I fail in plenty of ways, but I'm not predatory, exploitative, or abusive. You know. Right. And that is a phenomenon that people of all careers are subject to. And I run amok is when your and I start seeing all these connections. You're making intuitive leaps, but They don't feel tenuous like intuitive leaps should feel to you. And so you're like, oh my God, I've intuited the whole Epstein list. All of these people are on it. Ah, hot. Okay, good enough. This is my second one of these. If you're saying, Eric, are you sure this is diet approved? I am sure. Because this is carb balance mission tortillas, keto certified, 2.2 grams net carbs. Now it should be noted that it has more carbs than 2 grams in it, but for some reason they subtract the amount of fiber from the amount of carbs and come up with a figure of 2, net carbs they call it. His guilt and vague confession was also very seeming. James, seeming? Who's guilt and vague confession? Most Greek people have a word for it, not one of us. I think it was years and years before Epstein became a mainstream topic. There's the suspicious death and tweet. Wait, hold on. Since I'm getting too tired to use speech to text, I'm just gonna lurk and chat for a while. But if you're still on 3 hours, I'll see you again. I don't think I'll be on that long. It's a suspicious death and tweet. Relative silence from those involved is more suspicious. Right. So good. This is a butter quesadilla. No, that's not true, Sean. It's only if you draw a picture of Muhammad that happens. These Mexican tortillas are delicious. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't want to try foreign food. It's okay. You're safe with those tortillas. That's what life is about, man. Impromptu butter quesadillas. I call them hot buttered tortillas. Well, there's plenty of proselytizing in Christianity. I think Trouble wrote the title. Trouble did not write the title. I wrote the title. And we all know that you cannot lie in titles. So, accordingly, any moment now, this should go viral. Hello, Cameron. Nice to see you. I hope you had a wonderful day. And I hope you're having a wonderful evening. You know, we have a witness. He comes in here and preaches with me. that God doesn't approve of my smoking pot, basically. Like, get out of here, you! What are you talking about? Like, why are you doing this? What could possibly? I was trying to understand why people do things that are weird that I don't quite get. Bailey's in town. You just got home from family dinner, huh? Well, how did you enjoy having parents who were alive? Oh, that's right. Your dad's dead. We have no issues in the Middle East of not forgetting us getting dragged in because of Israel. Well, what about what about the invasion of Iraq and the Arab Spring and all that garbage that we tried to pull? I don't think that pisses anybody off. Middle East, Schmiddle East. Okay? That's all I have to say about that. If East, fine. West, fine. Middle East, there's not even a place. Just get out of here. Get out of here with your Middle East. Not your country, though. Whatever country you're from in the Middle East. Yours is great. I don't know, Henry Rels. I do know this, that blaming the Jews is not a good way to handle anything. No, nothing was ever accomplished by doing that. I mean, okay, fine. I can think of some short-lived accomplishments by a certain famous dictator who did successfully generate a lot of political support with his anti-Semitism. But that's beyond the point. You're winding down mode. You played 9 holes of frisbee golf. Wow, that does sound fun. You can blame anything, you can blame everything, but can you fix something? Until you know what you can fix, you don't know what you can blame. Well, you know what that was, Henry Rels? That was just a way to allow Dresden to get a fresh start. Get rid of all those old buildings. They're all old and tired looking, and we'll replace them with new buildings. Ruben and I have not frisbee golfed together. I do like frisbee golf, but with my elbows the way they are now, maybe my elbows aren't fit for frisbee golf anymore. You had to crawl in the brush 5 times. It's not too bad. A little brush crawling never hurt anybody. The pond is holding water, right? It's now drained. I drained it, all the pools, with siphoning the water out. And it's basically ready to go, but I could, I could, uh, did I waterproof paint it? No, I didn't waterproof paint it. No, we're not getting a turtle. We're going to get a couple of goldfish, and I expect it will attract frogs once we get it running, because we do have frogs around here. I was hearing them at the neighbor's house when I went over there today. No hats. You know what causes conflict between different people? Hats. If we were just to get rid of hats, everything would be fine. It would be a whole new world, a world we can all enjoy. I wear hats sometimes. They don't tell any story about my religion, though. I think I should probably have a fez and take up wearing it more frequently as a show of cultural diversity. I could also get one of those Albanian penis hats. We're being very racist. Nobody's being racist. I mean, you guys might be, but I'm not being racist at all. Masks and hoods scare me more than hats. Well, I agree with you there. Breathing masks are horrible. The UN literally has unanimously stated it's illegal occupation in the West Bank. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Henry Rouse, that Israel's in the wrong, and they've always been in the wrong regarding the Palestinians. The Palestinians have always had a legitimate claim. But the reason I don't care about it is not because I lack empathy, but because I'm not paying any attention to it. It's been the same for the last 40, 50, 60 years, you know? Nothing's changed. When I was in high school, we used to impact Israel Palestine um, as a as an argument. Nothing's changed. So what like how long do you expect somebody in America who's neither Palestinian nor Israeli to care about this thing going on for decades and decades? Well, I mean, that's true that my country is and will be affected by this and many other things. That doesn't mean I need to be empathetically engaged with all of them. If I were president, I'd have to come up with a policy towards Israel, um, and obviously, I would like to see them get this whole Palestinian thing resolved, and it's going to have to be the Israelis who do it. They're the ones with all the power. It's just like, okay, Israel, your little apartheid experiment needs to go. But but in the status quo, I'm not going to worry about it because it's not my problem. I mean, I agree with you that we need to reduce foreign aid quite a bit in general. And and sure, there's no reason why the Israeli Political Action Committee shouldn't have to register as a foreign lobbying group, but it's probably like Americans who started it. I'm not really sure. Well, Trump is not a warmonger, but that doesn't mean he's making good decisions about situations where use of force is occurring that's not involving the U.S. armies. You know, he's making poor decisions. He's trying to find compromises in situations where you need clarity. Help home first. If you need to make it sound like a swear word, let's do it. Some days are Sunni, but most days are Shiite. Well, that's a terrible joke. There's not nothing wrong with it per se, but it's just not a good joke. And that's okay. I make bad jokes sometimes too. You know, failure stalks us at every turn. Read one guy's epic signature on a forum I was on. He was deployed in Iraq. His epic signature? Another great quote from G. Fair enough, G. You don't get creator status on it. Shiite. People do say that when they mean to say shit sometimes, you know. You say that each country should stick to their own. You do realize before Israel came in, the Palestinians were already there. This Triple Land had been a geopolitical mess. Yeah, I realize that in full. That the Palestinians were displaced and Israel was forcibly created after World War II. And accordingly, there's been hostilities ever since because the displaced people didn't get treated justly. Hey, Eric, you reminded me, after the live stream, I need to double check. Apparently, I get to give out creator points now. Does anybody know anything about that hype points? I've never heard anything about it. Is it something to do with YouTube? Well, I think you should give them out as your conscience dictates. I don't know what they are for. I've never heard anything about it. G lives in Israel, in India. I don't think he has Fox News over there. G says they're a mix of Jordanians, Egyptians, Lebanese stragglers who were just camping there. They were just camping there? Oh. I'm going to use that about the Native Americans from now on. Listen, we didn't take their land. We came over here, and these Native Americans, they were just camping. They were camping in their tents. Clearly, they didn't live there, or they would have built a house there. So, you know, camping, it's fine to displace campers. I'm sorry you can't camp in here anymore. It's private property. The land that you have been camping on for the last many years is now my private property, and you need to stop camping here. There is no such problem. Okay. Like, I really don't want to be hosting an anti-Semitic cocktail party. Yeah, it's something new with YouTube. Apparently, since I have enough videos up, I can issue hype points. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. I wonder if I can issue hype points. If I go to TWFP Studio, what does it say? I have a lot of videos up. Start tagging to start earning. Tap to get tagging best practices for your content. Tagging? No, thank you. That sounds like a pain in the butt. Dashboard. I'm getting age restricted left and right. In the last week, I have lost 3 subscribers. Oh, in the last 28 days. Oh, that's not too bad. Only lost 3 subscribers. I don't see anything about these points. Maybe you're specialer than me. I don't get to get those points, I don't think. There are real wonder points. Yeah, now YouTube has made hype points, which are like wonder points, but from that you give to other YouTube channels. Yeah, real men don't buy women, everybody. Thanks a lot, Thorn. We have a lot to think about now. You've made your commercial for us. Viewers can swipe left on the comment preview in the YouTube mobile app and tap the hype button. Oh. Evidently you don't know about the Balfour Declaration. Bankers funded it at G. Well, regardless, not my problem. Somebody else's problem, and they can solve it. They were just camping here. No. Don't let them fool you. They were just camping. Is there a final solution to every problem? Depends on the kind of problem being talked about. So, like, there's a final solution to a given math problem, which is to say, one solution is correct and the others are incorrect. But for other kinds of problems, you have to update solutions as the environment changes. Okay, Sean, can we stop, please? Oh, God. Why? When did I start attracting this particular form of groupism? I guess it's a lot more popular nowadays. I mean, Israel's really screwing the pooch when it comes to public relations. I don't remember that. My goodness. Criticism of the state of Israel should not be conflated as an attack on Jewish people. I didn't accuse you of anything in particular, Henry Rails. I agree with you completely that Israel is very much to blame for trying to position critique of the Israeli state as critique of Jewish people. I haven't heard anything particularly anti-Semitic from you in Rails, but um, There you go, everybody. Come back to the stream after the stream and make sure you tap that hype button for this guy. Let's see if we can make it happen. Thanks, Crystal Miller, for saying that. Sean is just being a dick to Henry. Don't take anything I say seriously. Okay. I mean, I think Henry is making a fair and reasonable critique of Israel. I just don't really care because I've gone over the topic so many times and I've already determined what's correct, and so, you know. I got other stuff to worry about. Like, you know, I'm hopeful to get mushrooms tomorrow. If I do, then I'll be taking mushrooms tomorrow. And that would be wonderful. You might say, Eric, that's selfish. Don't you care about these people over there? I would say, yes, it is selfish. And I agree with them in their complaining. Like, yes, they are correct that they are being treated poorly and unjustly. Does that count as caring? I don't know. Wouldn't I want somebody else to care about me if I was being treated that way? Well, maybe, but you can't always get what you want, you know? I might want it, but I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect anyone to care about us if we were in that position. Well, Rachel, you want me to like if we're okay? I like. Is that what you're saying? Like if we're okay? Give me a thumbs up. I don't even know if I can. Oh yeah, I can. Since I've logged in as Eric Strauss, I can thumbs up my own video. Don't forget to thumbs up, everybody. Well, it's fair enough to critique U.S. foreign policy regarding Israel. As I've indicated before, like, Israel doesn't need our help to do whatever it is they want to do. Trump helped Israel in their campaign to bomb some things in Iran, purportedly because Israel didn't have a big enough bomb to drop or something like that to penetrate the thing. And I don't know. Oh, that's one of the things that's more important to worry about. Like, are we okay? Yes, if we're okay, though, in general, is something I do worry about. Like, you know, I want to make sure that the things that I hurry along with the process towards getting a job, then I don't have to stress out about stuff very much. Because even if I make a little bit less than what it costs to live, that's fine. Then I'm not bleeding money, you know. This time you're spreading viruses? No, I'm not spreading any viruses. The thumbnail is very Mike D. Beastie Boys. Well, thanks, New Group, for that. Sean is Canadian. We have CCP members in our government influencing elections and foreign policies. Oh, you're Canadian, says Henry Wells. He's from Canada. It's up at the top, above America someplace. It's got different provinces instead of states. Like one of the provinces in Canada is called Saskatchewan. Another one is Alberta. Another one is British Columbia. Up in here, up in there. Well, international muggity meows. A lot of different people have their fingers in a lot of different places. It's true that someplace like China is more successful in excluding foreign interests than we are, but that has to do with being a free and civil society. It's unfortunately we're more vulnerable to various kinds of attack. Canadian, you mean that jingle, New Groove? I wasn't so surprised, but I was disappointed. And the thing is, it's not like, oh, we should have beat them in any sense. They dominated both lines of scrimmage. We could not run the ball at all. They ran the ball for big gashing runs, and we got a little bit of pass protection for Mayava, but not enough for him to start having to pass the ball constantly because we have to abandon the running game. And our defense was not up to the task of stopping their running game at all. So we just looked like the worst team. We looked like we didn't belong on the same field as Notre Dame. It was close anyway through the first half, thanks to a turnover from Notre Dame and some other shit. And in fact, Notre Dame did get a kick return for a touchdown. You were speaking in that approach, Henry. I totally agree with your explanation. It makes perfectly good sense. So, I think I'm going to wrap it up, call it a night. I'm going to watch some cartoons and fight, fight, fight. So, have a great evening, y'all. I love you. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese, etc.